Hello there. It is the third Monday in January. It is Monday, the 18th of January, but it's not just any Monday. This is Blue Monday. This is termed Blue Monday because people have the blues. It's January. Christmas is over. We've all overspent on our credit cards. The weather's pretty lousy. COVID's got everybody locked down. People just don't feel good. So if you're not feeling good, don't worry, there is a reason for it. This lady I'm now going to talk about, her name is Lynn Crilly. Lynn has brought out a number of very, very successful books. Here's one of them, Hope with Anxiety. It's a self-help guide for those affected, their families, their friends, their carers. And Lynn, this one, Hope with Depression. Again, a self-help guide. And these are only two of the many, many books that you have for people. But Blue Monday, and how do people, a lot of people don't even recognize they're down in the dumps. They just sort of accept this is me.
I think people will obviously attribute it to Blue Mondays, the depressive disorder, SAD, seasonal affective disorder, which I suffer from, which is due to a lack of sunlight and being stuck indoors, which I think is obviously highlighted by the fact that we are all indoors. And obviously, some of us, when we finish school or college or uni or work, by the time we actually sort of think about going outside, it is dark. But I think with depression, having suffered depression myself, sometimes that you just don't know why you feel like that, or you feel low and you say to yourself, why, from the outside looking in, I've got everything, but I still suffered from depression. And I just didn't, it was just something that came on me. And I think it is something that some people are aware of, and some people just accept that it's them, but it doesn't have to be them.
And do you think the whole lockdown situation makes more of us aware that there is this aspect to us, or we are susceptible to this?
I think certainly I've seen through my work and just talking to people within the mental health world, I think this lockdown has exacerbated how people are feeling, and people are low, people are worried, they are scared, they are, no one knows what's going on, no one knows what tomorrow is going to bring. And I think it is the challenges, all the kids are stuck indoors, they're in their bedrooms on their phones and
No.
doing homeschooling. The parents are trying to work from home, and everyone's just trying to juggle too much. And then there's on the other side, where I think there's almost two sides to this, where some people are so busy that they just are going from day to day. And then there's the other side to this, where people are at home, either on their own or, in their bedrooms or other rooms with absolutely nothing to do. So they've got more time to think.
And Lynn, I think the big thought that many people would like to have is that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And if we can't see light at the end of the tunnel, whether that is an end to COVID, whether that is, financial trouble people may have lost their jobs, people may have time to reflect on their lot, and they may be sitting thinking, so this is my life. Is this good enough for me? Should you feel guilty about that?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think with any form of mental illness, it affects everyone differently, as everyone is unique and different. They experience depression, anxiety. I mean, depression and anxiety come hand in hand. And 1 in 5 of us, the statistics say that 1 in 5 of us in our lifetime will suffer from depression and anxiety. But I think with the way things are out there at the moment, I think it's okay to not be okay. And, I say to people, if we just get through this and we just get through it, then that's
Yeah.
enough. I think there's all this high expectation of what we should and shouldn't be doing. And, I know social media is really good and has its pluses, but it can also have its downsides, because you can find yourself sort of scrolling through and locked in other people's lives. And why isn't my life like that? Or maybe I should be doing that. But from what I've seen and from what I've experienced myself, it is okay to just get through the day.
Presumably you don't necessarily have to accept. I understand. I don't go along with that phrase, or just snap out of it or whatever. We both agree on that. But there are curbs, there are measures that you can put in place. But first of all, I suppose you've got to recognize your situation. What are the signs to look out for that you're in low mood, as you call it?
I think for me, the biggest sign is a change in behaviour. So if you see a change, obviously, again, all our personalities are different. So if someone's really outgoing and they become withdrawn, spend a lot of time in their room, they sort of lack of self-care, constant negativity. So if they're walking around, it's constant negativity. So whatever they're saying is constant negative rather than sort of, well, maybe it could be this. Low self-esteem. People need constant reassurance that everything's going to be all right. Irritable. Some people sleep all the time. Some people don't sleep at all. Some people overeat. Some people find that they don't feel hungry and they don't eat. So again, it affects everyone differently, but it is about how the behaviour, and from as a carer or a loved one, that if their behaviour is out of place for them, then you know that something's not right.
Let's get into talking about what we can do to put it right. There's nothing much we can do about the weather, or is there? There are obviously a number of signs, there are a number of things that you think, let's recognize this and let's put practices in motion that can turn things around. What would you say on that front?
I think, well, with the depressive disorder SAD, they do recommend that you have a light in your house, or a light that switches on in the morning. I think they can be bought on Amazon or wherever, like a sunlight.
Yeah.
So but that's obviously doing something if it is the sunlight. I mean, what I do is every morning I check my phone, and this sounds really silly, but we actually get 2.5 minutes more of sunlight every day.
From here on in tomorrow, from
the 21st of December, we actually get 2.5, which sounds really sad, but I check my phone every day, and today it's going to start getting dark at 4:30.
Brilliant. That's 15 minutes more light by the end of this week. Yeah.
And then it will be lighter by 5 o'clock at the end of January. So brilliant. I do little things like that because obviously I'm a little bit of a summer girl and I love the sun. I like being outside. So the fact that it's going to get lighter every night and it's smaller is big, well, for me anyway. But I think it's also about like acknowledging small steps and talking to someone. So if you see someone or you're with someone and you think, because we're obviously all living in the house together, everyone's in their separate rooms doing their work or their homework, or the kids are doing their schooling. I think for me, it is to talk. So if you think, whether you recognise it within yourself, you think, oh, it's a bit of an effort to get out of bed today, is to set a routine, because none of us are in a routine at home. Is to set a routine either as a family or as a couple, however you're living within the house, is to set a routine.
So that could be as simple as getting up in the morning, and dressing, showering, putting on good clothes as a man, shaving, whatever, but just doing it, whether you need to do it.
For the day. I mean, some of the kids they do their homeschooling in bed. Yeah. So I would say, or I say to them, you need to get up, shower as if you're going to school, have your breakfast, and then go back to a desk to start the school day. Rather than just roll out of bed and get your laptop and start. So I think a routine, perhaps, if you do have one good goal a day, whether it be do some paperwork, or even if it's just clean the bathroom or hoover the house, or just that's if you're not working from home, if you're just at home. Just have one positive thing that you can do, not overload yourself, expect too much of yourself.
Talking about overloading, as a news presenter, one thing I controversially would recommend is for people to watch less news.
Yes.
I actually think, and I worked in the environment for 26 years, it is a constant wheel of negativity. And I'm not saying don't watch your news, watch it once a day or once every 2 days or whatever, read your newspapers, but be aware that you are subjecting yourself to just this constant barrage of negativity.
I think also I knew someone that kept typing in coronavirus every 5 minutes into Google, and then of course it came up and up and up. And I would say that. And I would say there are channels that do give out just good news. And
And
look,
where are they? I haven't come across those, no.
apparently there is one, I think we put it up on our social media, www.goodnews.com, and
Right.
go to those
Uh,
rather than searching, because you are right, and the news is constant negativity, and when your mind is or your
yeah.
brain is constantly bombarded, you start, that's all you hear.
For people who say, right, it is a new year and I plan a new me, there's a lot of pressure on people to conform to that, to be, for us all to be what society wants us to be, thinner, better dressed, whatever it happens to be. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing if that's what you want and that's the target that you want, but I think you can also be you. You don't have to be who you think you should be. I think a lot of us, including myself, you're always bombarded with all these images and idealizations that you feel that you yourself are not good enough the way you are and who you are. So we've done something this year that we just did, New Year, be you, whoever that is. You know, I think a lot of people are lost at the moment and they're searching for something. And I think we have this idealization of what we should be, but you know, I think we should all, well, in an ideal world, we'd all be who we want to be, who we are, because everyone's different.
I want to talk about not you this time, but your daughter Samantha, who
Yes.
has this poetry book, Hope Through Poetry, she calls it, poems for resilience and self-esteem. And within this, she has written, amongst the many, many poems, she's talking about an outsider's view, looking at someone, and it's called A Hand to Help. I can see you through my window, struggling upstairs. Your family beneath you, blissfully unaware. Just a ceiling between you, not knowing your pain. A concept any family would never wish to entertain. I know you have pride, and that's why you hide, that this is the reasoning behind your lonesome divide. If only you knew they would be up there with you, holding your hand, wanting to understand. I wish I could tell you it'll be okay, that you're no burden to be feeling this way. However, we both know silence will never get you past the door, that all these secrets won't lift your knees up off the floor. Please hold out your hand for people to listen, to accept help and free yourself from this villainous prison. And what, Lynn, would that villainous prison be?
Tormented. It's like having an unwanted intruder inside your head. You're totally consumed by your own thoughts, and they're very negative. They're destructive thoughts.
If,
Um,
if
I mean,
anyone
my
has,
daughter's speaking from experience, so you know, I think her poetry is very powerful and very real.
and if anyone has those destructive thoughts, there is help. There is professional help out there. Who would you advise people to turn to?
I would say there are many helplines. The Samaritans, particularly, I know are very good. We can give you their number.
116 123.
And you go straight to them. And
Yeah.
I know people, and they are very, very professional and very good. And I would urge people not to suffer in silence, and reach out for help. I know some people have more help than others, and for some it's easier than others. But you know, I really would say to you, don't suffer in silence, and remember that it's okay to have bad days, because if you don't have bad days, you don't know what good days are.
Well, Lynn Crilly talks about those bad days and the how to deal with them in her books, Hope with Anxiety and Hope with Depression. Lynn, I appreciate your thoughts and your advice on what hopefully will be maybe a sky blue Monday as opposed to just a deep blue Monday for
Let's
people
hope so.
today. And it's not just confined to today, because this week and this month and however long COVID lasts, we could all find ourselves very much like this. But from Lynn and me, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and keep well.